New season, new artifact, new exotic changes, new builds. And we got a pretty good one for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you had a great day. I hope you're enjoying the new season as much as me, as we're going to open up the season with a new build video for you guys. So let me just start off by saying that I'm not going to say this build video or this specific build is better than the main meta solar warlock sunbracer build, which we will have an updated version on that build tomorrow, in case you do want an updated sunbracer build. But today I wanted to start off with a karnstein armlet build. Why? Well, first of all, the karnstein armlets got a pretty darn big change going into this season. Before this season, the karnsteins, basically all they did is you would get a melee kill and they would give you a little bit of health and start regenerating your health for a short duration. Now what they do, first of all, melee kills, whether it's a charged melee or a non-charged melee kill, it's going to give you tier 3 cure, which is a lot of health, like 180 health, and it's going to give you tier 1 restoration. And if you get a finisher, the karnsteins are still going to give you tier 3 cure, which is a lot of HP, and it's going to give you ×2 restoration, which is awesome, meaning solar warlocks got yet another way to access ×2 resto. Actually, since the karnsteins are an exotic, you can activate ×2 resto on any subclass. However, this is a solar build. The artifact is pretty solar heavy with a lot of bang for your buck with some of these artifact mods. Now, the core of the build will not change whenever this season ends and these mods go away, but they definitely enhance the playstyle of it and allow you to be truly a monster. This is one of the easiest builds to use and keep yourself alive in any solo content, any difficult content, as a cycle of keeping your ×2 resto up is a lot easier on this build than the Heat Rises Phoenix Dive Sunbracer loop that a lot of Warlock mains have been using to have an infinite ×2 resto build, which is still very efficient today, and we'll be having a build video on that tomorrow. However, on this build, it is just so much easier to proc your ×2 resto at any given moment, even if you are completely out of all of your abilities, and really easy to have it never fall off. With that being said, remember guys, if you ever want to get your games and their DLC for a cheaper price, that includes the final shape, make sure to head over to Instant Gaming, top link in the description. Their sole goal is to save you money anytime you get a game or that game's DLC, point blank period. Also, we got the G Fuel link to keep yourself hydrated, energized while you're gaming. Best drink in the business, code Kree, 20% off at checkout. Now that we got the plug out the way, let us go ahead and hop straight into the build breakdown, and let's get right into it. Build breakdown. Karnstein's got the juicer change to where they now grant tier 3 cure on a melee or a finisher. In normal melee kills, it doesn't have to be a charged melee kill or anything like that. Grants you tier 1 restoration for 8 seconds, okay? Finisher grants you tier 2 restoration for 8 seconds. And since we're on solar, you already know, bruh. Ember of Empyrean to extend it. It's another form of easy infinite resto in which it doesn't fully rely on your Phoenix Dive. However, we are still going to use Phoenix Dive with Heat Rises, so we have another way of getting ×2 resto in case an enemy might be far away and we still need to heal ourselves. We still have another way to get ×2 resto. Pretty insane, right? Now, I'm not going to say this build is better than the Sunbracer build or anything crazy like that, but these are a true viable exotic that you can use and incorporate into a really good build, especially for solo play. Now, with that being said, we do got to look at the season of artifact because it is just so strong this season. And let's talk about some of these seasonal artifact mods real quick. Flint Striker, Rapid Solar Weapon Precision Hits, and Rapid Solar Weapon Final Blows grant Radiant. This is very useful if you are trying to proc Radiant from a distance because sometimes enemies might not be in melee range. This is just another way to get yourself Radiant, which we definitely want because, dude, Rays of Precision is absolutely insane. While Radiant Solar Precision Final Blows cause combatants to ignite. Absolutely amazing. Revitalizing Blast. Causing damage with the solar ability weakens champions and bosses for a short duration. So now you have a form of a debuff that you can have on your solar subclass without having to sacrifice your heavy slot for tractor cannon or something like that, which is awesome. Really good in solo play, right? Heart of the Flame. You don't need this for normal play because, I mean, you're going to be on a Radiant, Well of Radiance. I just had this on because I was playing with my teams. And I was like, yeah, why not? Solo Operative. Obviously, if you're playing solo, put Solo Operative on. If you're not playing solo, I mean, dude, just go ahead and take your pick. If you're using the new Strand Fusion Rifle, Horde Shuttle's pretty dang good. And then Kindling Trigger. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. This is awesome. So, your main core on the seasonal artifact mods are going to be Kindling Trigger, Flint Striker, Revitalizing Blast, Raise of Precision, and then if you're on solo, playing by yourself, of course, use Solo Operative. Now, the subclass, we're going to go with Heat Rises and Icarus Dash because we do not need Touch of Flame because this is not a grenade-focused build. Of course, if you were on Sunbracers, you would definitely put on Touch of Flame, but that's for tomorrow's video. Now, I have on Firebolt Grenade just because they have such a short cooldown, so I'm basically always going to be proccing Heat Rises and always have Heat Rises up. The reason why we want to have Heat Rises on is very simple. Final blows while airborne increase the duration of Heat Rises and grant melee energy. Now, you can use whatever melee you want, Celestial Fire, Incinerator Snap. I like Incinerator Snap because it's another way you can proc an ignition. However, if you're in something like a GM, a more difficult piece of content, Celestial Fire is great for proccing Radiant at a distance. Really, just take your pick between these two, whatever your personal preference may be. However, I would recommend running Ember of Searing because running Ember of Searing and Heat Rises is going to be what gets your melee back so fast. Like, sometimes it's borderline instantaneous depending on how many enemies you kill with your melee. Another reason why I am a big fan of Incinerator Snap. Now, Ember of Torches. Obviously, we want to run this so we can make ourselves Radiant with our melee. We have two forms of getting ourselves Radiant, just like we have two forms of getting ×2 Resto. And I'm running Ember of Eruption because Raise of Precision is just that good, while Radiant, we're going to be igniting enemies on solar precision final blows. Since that's going to be happening so often, why not just make that ignition even stronger with a bigger AoE? And do I really need to explain why we have Ember of Empyrean on a solar build? No. It just extends the effect of Restoration and Radiant to where we can basically have it up at all times. Very useful. Now, your weapons really don't matter too much. I will say probably the most ideal exotic and just easiest exotic to use on this build, Sunshot. Come on now. Hand Cannon's got that juicy buff last season. Sunshot's an absolute monster. Depending on what piece of content you're doing, if you don't have to focus too much on doing insane boss damage, I like using LMGs. And for this build, you 1,000,000% want to use a solar LMG. You definitely want to use a solar LMG, unless of course you're in a boss encounter. And a high impact frame just makes getting the headshots and precision kills just that easier. Because in some situations, the GOAT, like the fixed odds, while you're Radiant, is just gonna bing, one shot a trash tier mob to the face, big time ignition, clears everything else out. That's why I like using the LMG here, and I love fixed odds. However, an Unwavering Duty will definitely work just as well. And then your kinetic weapon honestly doesn't matter too much. In some higher end content, when you're underpowered, having something like a 1-2 punch shotgun to make your melee hit for more damage is going to be useful. Because remember, if you get that melee kill, you're going to give yourself Resto. If it's fallen off for some reason, because sometimes that just happens, boom. You're just making it easier on yourself to get that melee kill, get that restoration going, start the loop back again with Ember of Empyrean. You have Heat Rises and Ember of Searing to make getting your melee back easier, to make using them to get yourself Radiant if you're not Radiant. Resto, like the loop is so easy. You're seeing the loop. You've seen the loop in the gameplay so far. It just keeps going and it's super easy. Now for mods, my boy, I will be honest that your mods on here don't matter too much. Honestly, that Solar Siphon is actually supposed to be a heavy weapon finder, but I was doing a bounty, so yeah, don't mind me. Now we do have Impact Induction, causing damage with a powered melee attack, reduces your grenade cooldown. Once again, it'll just make it easier to get your grenade back to consume it, to always have heat rises proc. I have on heavy-handed. They did get nerfed, but you know, still useful in making orbs, resist mods on your chest piece. Me personally, dude, I am now a big fan of running. I'll be right back. Anyways, before I so rudely interrupted, what I was saying is that I'm a firm believer of having just a separate pair of boots with my surges on that I'll swap to for like a damage phase or something like that. But in the meantime, for anything else, I just wear a pair of boots with a lot of orb mods, invigoration, recuperation, absolution, just something like that. Your boots mods don't really matter too much. However, on your class item, I would highly recommend Proximity Ward. The main reason why is since you get ×2 resto off of finishers from your karnsteins, why not just make yourself safer when you go to do those finishers? That is exactly why we have Proximity Ward. Honestly, I would recommend this mod over a lot more of the ones that we have on. Like, I would say this is way more important than you may actually realize. So go ahead and put on Proximity Ward. And that is like the main, and that is your main juicer core of the karnstein build. I'm not saying it's better than the Sunbracer build. However, it's definitely a new way to go about having infinite ×2 restoration, and it's definitely really fun. All right, bada bing, bada boom. There's everything you need to know about the karnstein build, the artifact mod, the drip, the main weapons you'll want to use while on this setup. And let me preface this one more time. I'm not saying this is the new best meta warlock build in the game. It's just a different build you can use that has an absolute metric ton of survivability to it. Not saying it's better than the Sunbracer build. Once again, that build video will be out tomorrow, but I definitely wanted to get this build out to you guys. Yes, there will be a dim link in the top of the description if you would like to use that to copy the loadout. And just about all the footage you've been seeing in this video was streamed live over on my little Twitch channel, twitch.tv/kree with a W between the K and the R. Almost got that bad boy up to 100 followers, so you know, if you care, help your boy out. Thank you so much for watching the video. Remember to hit up Instant Gaming if you want to save money when shopping for games and or those games DLCs. You guys be safe, take care, enjoy the new season. Thank you so much for watching. I just said that. Y'all be safe, and we'll see your beautiful faces in the next one. Peace out, and the One Piece is real.